Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So welcome. Tonight, Scorpio, we have the Three of Discs, which has everything to do with work, really. It doesn't necessarily mean like your career, your work life, although probably has something to do with that. Because this is a pentacle, discs, coin, card, it is related to the earth element. So we know this is really often about the physical world, right? Reality. Consensus reality anyways, right? And so, yeah, when this card comes around, you know, you're in that mode to be doing the work that you need to be doing. You are impassioned. You are like in that place of pure resolve, right? You're going to get the thing done. And it's an exciting energy to see kind of show up, because I don't know about you. Sometimes I need a little extra help to get going, right? A little bit of a push from the universe. And so we're going to spin this thing. We're going to tap on it, or knock, I should say. We knock 3 times. I don't know why traditionally people do this. Other than it is an opening of a ritual, but I like to think that it is being polite, right? Knocking on the top here. Let me in. I should say, may I enter? Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. And so I also want to say thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Tea leaf reading it's really fun. It absolutely is. It doesn't mean every reading is super, rainbows and puppies and all of that. But it's a fun form of divination because so many cool images come through. Now, if you've been to the channel already, if you're returning, let me just say thank you. It is so nice to see you. Welcome back. All right, here we go. I want to take a look because this one is like pretty profound looking. We have a person right here. You can see the head. Here's the body. The legs would be down in this area. Now, we also have, it looks like a diamond, maybe some kind of, I'm seeing it as a, what's it called? A lighthouse. Okay, you can kind of see right here, kind of a lighthouse. But then we also have the circle, right? Down by the foot. The foot is actually into the circle. And it definitely, immediately actually, I thought of this old alchemical engraving, and I don't know the name of it, I will be honest with you, but it is a image of Saturn, and it actually, or Kronos, maybe it's Kronos. Kronos and Saturn are fairly interchangeable. And anyways, he's holding, and this motif is common with old Saturn images. Holding Ouroboros, right? What is that? That's the snake eating its tail. And so I saw this and I thought, okay, all right. So we are somebody who really holds the power right now, right? You hold the power by having the knowledge. Not only the knowledge, but the know-how, right? You have the knowledge, you have the data, you have all of the details, right? But you also have to know how to use it, right? What do you do with this information? So this is the transmutation process of going from knowledge to wisdom, right? Being able to apply that information in a practical way to whatever it is, right? If that's knowing how to, fix the toilet, or if it is, some kind of information to fill out your, your dissertation, or, whatever. It doesn't matter. So this feels like, I get the energy of like somebody who, like, they're getting close. Like, you're like a grad student or something, right? And you're getting so close to getting that last little piece together so that you can, kind of move on, right? To achieve that ultimate goal, at least within this work, so that you can close one door, open another, and step on through to see what is going on out there, right? What is next for you? And there is an excitement. There's also a fear. It's not necessarily just fear. It's an anxiety about the unknown. But you're a seasoned traveler, and I can see that. You also are a beacon. Okay, that's the lighthouse, that light in the dark. You draw people in. Now, we also have right behind, it looks to me very much like a large vase or some kind of satchel to hold things. Now, over here, we have a wizard. You can see right here, look at that perfect little hat right there. And this one reminds me so much of a little demon. You can see the head right here, even the eye and the mouth is wide open. Here is the body. Here are the legs, and a similar shape here as this one. Almost kind of turned over though, right? So this would be the bottom part right here. So I feel like let's talk about this image, okay? So with the wizard especially, it reminds me very much of John Dee, right? This is a famous occultist, right? Well, he was an astrologer. He was a what was it called? He was he did strategy for war, right? He was in the court of Queen Elizabeth I. People say that he was maybe the archetype, or at least the inspiration for Faust. Okay, if you know about the story of Faust, this is kind of this like wizard dude, the sorcerer that is just not really getting anywhere. So he makes a deal with the devil to be this powerful being, right? And people think that maybe John Dee was, the original kind of form for this. Now, who knows, right? There are a lot of these types of dudes. The more you get into the occult, the more you find out there's a lot of different ones. A lot of them. So many alchemists, so many occultists and magicians and, whatever. So maybe that's true, maybe not. But the reason I bring him up is that there is this energy. It really reminds me of, there's a picture. Now, there's a famous one where it's John Dee and Edward Kelly, And that was kind of his, they always say it's his assistant or whatever. That was like his magical boo. I mean, come on, right? That was his magical partner. They were doing magic together. So there's a picture of where they're doing necromancy, right? Or that, I think that's what the bottom says, which is bringing the dead back, right? Communing with the dead. This is not that. This is like a macro, but this is like an entity dwelling in a different, in a different dimension. This is, some kind of thing coming through. It might be elemental even. But what it feels like to me is, in the larger picture of things, you are so in tune with even the shadow side of self that you are unafraid to travel to places that most people would never even consider going. And what does that mean? I feel like it's the interior work, right? Now, I don't feel like you're out here, doing invocations to bring up stuff from, like, what was that one? The Necronomicon or whatever, that, I don't know. I think it's not even a real book or whatever. I don't know. I'm not into that side of magic really, but, calling up all these different beasts and things. No, I don't believe that. But I do think that you are somebody that if you are confronted with this kind of energy, you wouldn't just hide your head in the sand. You're somebody that's going to meet this head on. So I feel like with these images here, we have a lot of, well, I'm going to say proof, because it feels like proof to me, that you are really working on strengthening your abilities. Okay, because I know that you already, it's an innate ability that you were born with, whatever it is. If it is the ability to, travel the astral planes, or, you're a medium, maybe you have prophetic visions, or, whatever it is, clairvoyance maybe. Maybe you're really good at reading people. Maybe you're really good at making money. I don't know. But it is something that is definitely coded into you, right? And I feel like at this point in your life, it's almost like you've gone through all of the kind of almost, it feels almost like tedious, the tedious, just drudgery of feels like socializing. I mean, that's the big thing that keeps coming through. Like, I did all the stuff that I thought I had to do. I played the part, when I was a kid, when I was in school, maybe even in your young adulthood, you tried to keep up the status quo. You got into things maybe that otherwise you probably wouldn't have. You tried on different personalities and personas, and let me just stop and say this. The internet these days, I don't know why it's like this, but people are so critical of people that go through phases. People that are into one thing, they get super into something else, And I think maybe it's because it's put out there for so many people to see if you're posting about, the things you're into and the different styles and whatever. I just want to say, when I meet somebody who every time I see them, every 5 years or so, they're completely into something different. They're just absolutely about whatever they're into, or whatever new kind of clothing or look or whatever. I think that's amazing. I think it's great. Reinvent yourself as often as you can. You know, be all the things. Or be none of the things. Be some of the things. Whatever, right? Have fun. And don't be snide about other people doing it, right? I cannot stand hearing about that kind of, like, just let people do what they do, right? As long as they're not hurting anybody, who cares? And, you know, I hope that you are allotted the same privilege, right? The same courtesy. We all should be. Absolutely. But so I feel like, yeah, you went through a lot of these phases, okay? And at this point in your life, I feel like you've shed a lot of this kind of, it's almost like it's not so much like an impulse, but this thing that it was driving you, right? And I don't know exactly what that was. Maybe it is a feeling of being accepted. Maybe you wanted to be noticed. You wanted to, find yourself in a place of like social elevation. You know, nothing wrong with these things. I think these are all normal things that everybody wants on some, level or whatever. But I feel like for you, it's lost its luster. And it has been for some time. But I feel like you finally are at that point where the work is what is important. And the work is that interior stuff. The work is that gift that you have. And so I see you in this next cycle really exploring the depths of whatever this is, right? If you're like communing with your ancestors, if you are finding out that you're really good at manifesting, maybe you are starting to come to the realization that you're a natural healer, whatever it is. This part of your life is going to be focused on not only embracing this power that you have, this ability, this skill, but also to fine-tuning it, mastering even. And that's exciting. That's super exciting. All right, now I'm going to turn this over here. And I also see we have the same person sitting. And now it looks like the Ouroboros is the head. You can see the nose even right there, like looking this way. Now we also have a face and a little smile. So I feel like it is a time for rest. Now look at this. We still have like an entity right behind you, reaching towards you, but there's a heart right there. And to me, what this really, it's like, I feel like, what was that thing? What did it say? It was something like, be careful of the demons you expel from yourself, the things that you let go of, the parts of yourself that you banish, right? Because those might be some of the most important parts of ourselves. And we don't always realize it. Sometimes we look at something and we say, yeah, this is like a real demon in me, right? And you try to stop it, you try to banish it, put it away, throw it into that pile of shadow stuff. And come to find out, this might have been some of the most joyful parts of self. This might have been the thing that protected you in the world. This might have been the thing that was, there for you when nobody else was. Not all of our demons are bad. Other people might tell us they are. Other people might not like it because it holds them accountable. It allows you the courage to have your boundaries and to stick to them. But not all of that is bad, right? We all need at least a little dash, right? Some of us have a little bit more. Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm infested with demons, but I'll tell you what. I'm not one to mess with. So anyways, I do. And I feel this resting. I feel this thing behind you, but you're friends. You're coming to terms with who and what this is. It's been there forever, probably. And so I do. I feel like this is definitely more of a nod towards that processing and integration versus expelling and, trying to forget that this thing ever existed or was in your life in any capacity, right? Because it feels almost kind of wasteful, right? I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but I do. I feel like it's important for us to remember. It's important for us to know. What are these components that have influenced who I am, what I am? What have I risen against? And maybe what have I, failed to at times? We need to know these things. So I do. I feel like you are in a place where you're okay. You're okay with who you are, your nature, the little beings that are kind of populating your life. This is what I love about Scorpio, is that you're honest with yourself. And you're okay. You're okay with being whatever you are. At some point, hopefully the younger the better, right? You come to the realization it doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what they say. Most of these people don't know what the heck they're doing anyways. Most people are talking to themselves. And that's the real gem. So especially when you have somebody who's gone all the way out of their way. I always love saying this when somebody, excuse me, has a terribly mean comment or, something. It's like, dude, thank you for traveling time and space across the universe to manifest as a human being who has infinite possibilities within their life, endless ways to live, and yet you found the time and the effort to come here to my little blip in this wide universe to be mean, to say things that are not helpful or useful or, I don't know, meaningful. Maybe they're meaningful somewhere. But yeah, you came all the way over here just to be mean. That's wild. But what are you going to do? That's the reality of things. People often are looking for somebody to hear whatever pain they have. And oftentimes they're talking to themselves, and it sucks. It's terrible because it's hard to be disarmed, when somebody is being mean or being mean to somebody else. I see it with other people they'll comment and somebody will say something snide or whatever. I hate seeing that. I don't like it. But then it's like, Lenore, remember that we have to have empathy because, you know, that's coming from a place of pain. And of course, I've said mean things. I've thought mean things. And I know where that comes from. But Scorpio, you all are really good at figuring it out, you know, and already knowing that. I'm a Virgo, so it took me like 40 years. 40 years to even begin to know that not everything is about me. I mean, we could all get together and rethink it, right? Maybe things should be about me, but unfortunately not the case. Not the case. All right, so we have, it looks like we have a tree, we have the moon, we have an acorn. I feel like you're going to be moving. Yeah. And about, it feels about like a 4. There's a 4. Like 4 months. Maybe 4, hopefully not out of the blue in 4 weeks. It takes me 6 months at least to be ready to move. I like to have time to plan and execute. But yeah, 4, maybe 4 months. Hopefully I'm hoping for 4 months for you, so you know for sure, and you can get everything squared away. But it does. It feels like there will be some kind of move. Now with the moon, I feel like it almost is something where it starts out as feeling really scary, right? Like a scary movie. Like you don't know what to think about this move, or maybe it came out of nowhere. Maybe, you know, something happened and now you're, you know, you like where you live and you don't want to move, but maybe you have to, or I don't know, whatever it is. But here's the deal. Once you get on the other side of things, I feel like so many aspects of your life that were kind of like loose ends or things that you were trying to reorganize so you could get this all worked out. And, you know, and the big thing I'm thinking of is like financially. Okay. When you move, I feel like things are going to kind of fall into a really smooth system. And it's going to be a relief. And I feel like with that acorn, it really is going to allow you to have the desire to plant roots, right? To stay. And so I feel like this might be the first time in your life where you really are considering, like, this is my forever. I want to spend the rest of my life here, just like this. And so that's a wonderful feeling. But now it's the getting to that point, right? And that can feel very disruptive. I've moved a lot in my life. I'm like one of those people, I move like every 3 to like, I don't know, 6 years, hoping that this last move was my last move ever. I don't know, but for somebody who has moved a lot, I just have so much anxiety about it each time, you know, and I feel like for you, there is a sense of that anxiety, but I'll tell you what. Excuse me, when you get into a situation where, you know, suddenly now you can afford everything, or, you know, the payoff is maybe you're closer to your work, or maybe you've moved to a place that is a little more affordable or a little bit bigger, or, you know, maybe you downsized a little bit. And now it doesn't feel like such a huge oppressive ontaking to take care of this, you know, home or apartment or whatever that's too much for you. But I do feel like once you get to that place of relief, oh my gosh, it'll be so much better. Okay, Scorpio. Now, we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. 62, 84, and 19. All right. And we will end with our self-care affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through here. Go to the front. Crystal clarity. I have focused clarity. The universe provides for my desires with abundance as I become clear as crystal. Clear as crystal. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you for spending this time with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I just want to say, again, I love you. I hope that you have a wonderful next few days. And as you can tell, I'm sick again. When am I not? Once it's flu season, you can bet either my husband or I will be sick, right? Shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul. He is wonderful. Go check him out. Other than that, yeah, good night. I love you.